So another problem I have with this video is the way these black holes look. So it's a little bit inaccurate, and you might think, hey, this looks like the supermassive black hole out of Interstellar, right? Well, guess what? They were wrong in Interstellar as well. G'day guys, welcome back. If you're new around here, my name's Dylan. I just put a PhD in physics on hold to create some fun things, and one of those things, AI My Interior, is now out. You should come check it out. You can use it for free. Don't need a credit card. Just take a picture of your room, bedroom, living room, upload it to my site. Choose whatever interior design style you want. 30 seconds later, voila, gives you a completely renovated room. So come check it out. Last time I checked, we were over 4,700 users. So come check it out. It's not going to be free for too much longer. AI My Cars is also almost there. We worked day and night over the weekend, and they're just bug after bug. It's almost there. Loving this channel as of late. Let me know down under what you want me to watch next. Jupiter. Oh, look at this. Okay, so hypothetical black hole, Schwarzschild radius. What are you looking at? Okay, they maybe should have had like just a few words to explain. So the Schwarzschild radius, basically, if you squash a piece of matter to below its Schwarzschild radius, it's going to collapse into a black hole. So if you squash the Earth down to the size of a peanut, you're going to get a black hole. If you squish the sun down to about the size of a small town, 2.9 kilometers, you're going to get a black hole. Everyone who has mass actually has a Schwarzschild radius. So if you don't click the subscribe button and come check out AI My Interior, I'm going to turn you into a black hole. I will do it. If you've ever wanted to turn another human into a black hole, or yourself, all you got to do is squish yourself down to about 10 to the negative 25 meters, and you would actually become a black hole. It's smaller than a neutrino, by the way, and you'd only get like 1 G of gravitational force if you got closer than like 0.02 millimeters. It should be noted that a black hole of about 75 kilograms would evaporate via Hawking radiation in about 3.5 times 10 to the negative 11 seconds. As a rough approximation, you're looking at 75 kilograms being effectively E equals mc squared, all at once. So you're looking at an explosion several times the size of the Tsar bomber. For reference, Hiroshima and Nagasaki both only had about 1 gram of mass converted to energy. You're looking at 75,000 times that much energy released. And anybody nearby who isn't wearing SPF 5000 sunscreen is going to have a really bad day. Hypothetical, I'm guessing because they're just putting it here, but also because we've never found black holes of this size. Okay, the smallest black holes we've found are like 3 solar masses, so 3 times the size, 3 times the mass of the sun. Okay, and that's actually also the closest black hole we've ever seen. There's lots of recent news on this. We thought we found one at like 1,000 light years away a couple of years ago, but that's now thought to maybe not be a black hole. And then really recently, Gaia has spotted 2 new black holes. The other weird thing about this new black hole, which is about 1,500 light years away, is it's actually not orbiting very close to the star, its companion star, which is not what we'd never seen anything like this. And so now we're excited with Gaia. There's going to be a lot more, data soon to actually look at all these stars we thought didn't have black holes and see if we can detect this really tiny bit of wobble. Anyway, let's yap it on. Maybe I can explain what the Schwarzschild radius is in a little more detail in a minute. Okay, but let's watch this. There it is, the sun. Also, another thing to say is the black holes won't actually look like this. That's, if that's what you thought, well, why won't it look like this? Well, they will look similar, but generally they will have like a photon ring and other things. So Google that if you want to know what that is. So we're getting much bigger here, 11.2 kilometers, 3.8 solar masses. So there you go, there's a real one. That is not, I don't believe, the one I was talking about. Cygni? Where's Cygnus? I named my cat after a black hole. Cygnus used to be the closest black hole. I'm pretty sure it's the one that Stephen Hawking and Kip Thorne had that wager on. Kip Thorne is the guy who wrote that book over there, by the way. He's a legend. He also won a Nobel Prize now. 1,300 solar masses. Okay, we're getting quite large now. So the interesting thing to note here is like how much mass is in this thing, but how small it is, right? Look, it's still smaller than the Earth, but it has 1,300 times the mass of our sun. And the sun, you could fit 1,300 of these. No, sorry, what am I saying? 1.3 million of these in the sun. It's just hard to wrap your head around. I love how they're showing like some kind of accretion disk now, but even this is wrong because there would still be like a photon ring. Jupiter. The sun reference. This guy always makes beautiful videos as well. As the size of a black hole defined by the Schwarzschild radius relates to its mass, it's only by acquiring more mass that a supermassive black hole will grow larger, as a greater mass means space-time is curved over a larger area. So you got to note though that, you know, the Schwarzschild radius doesn't denote an actual surface, but the area beyond which space-time is curved to such a degree that the escape velocity exceeds the speed of light. In other words, you know, there is so much mass in such a small volume that the gravitational force curves space-time to such an extent that not even light can escape. No light is reflected, and this is why a black hole is black. Sagittarius A. So this is the supermassive black hole, the center of our Milky Way, our very own supermassive black hole. Is there anything different between these and the other ones you've seen? No, there isn't. They're just much bigger, all right? So basically, if you bring black holes together, they all just grow in mass. You feed them to each other and bigger black hole. That's the only difference. I mean, there is actual differences, as in like the Hawking radiation is substantially different, but what I'm talking about is in what they are. We don't think they're different. However, I've got to be careful with what I'm saying here because we really don't understand what black holes are beyond the event horizon. We model them the same way. They look like they behave in a similar way. And so what you're seeing here is, if you watched Interstellar, right, you might have been confused by this whole thing. We're not going to talk about it too much, but I'm sure you heard how, like, you know, this thing has so much gravity, it's warping space-time, and you're literally this photon ring, and, you know, you're seeing the accretion disk being bent from the other side because, you know, the fabric of space-time is just literally being warped completely here. And look, it's doing something called frame dragging. It's literally dragging the fabric of space-time around with it. So it's like, you know, if you get too close here, you're not just going to be pulled into an orbit. Space-time itself is going to get warped. That means your time is going to get warped and your space. Getting killed? Yeah, a lot of things can kill you in the universe. Not a lot of things in the universe can, like, change your time. That sounds weird, right? Obviously, inevitably, your time is getting changed. But I mean, like, it shifts your time so much, it, like, drags you into infinity. And so I guess, you know, if you want to live forever, go jump into a black hole. Because you might have heard, you know, depending on your reference frame, if you're someone watching someone fall into a black hole, well, you could just last forever. But if you're the one falling into the black hole, you know, it's a very different story. There's a paradox here. You know, we've talked about this in many videos. I think there's a video we've done on this, the black hole information paradox. So go check that one out. NGC. So I can't even speak. We're getting pretty large right now. So we're at 1 million solar masses. They get much bigger. So Earth's orbit and this thing now is wider. And you remember from before how, you know, even a small black hole, like it wasn't even as large as Earth, and it had all that mass. So this thing now has 10 million, 70 million solar masses. So the change in color, again, is just silly. Also Andromeda, right? We used to think Andromeda was a much bigger galaxy than the Milky Way for a long time, like twice as big. We now think it's about the same size. Okay, so that's got to be said. All right, they're changing color again. Neptune's orbit. It's a beautiful video though. Heliopause. This has to do with the solar system, the size of the solar system. Hercules A. You guys might have seen that we discovered a new gargantuan black hole recently, 30 billion times the mass of the sun, but via a completely new technique, which is awesome. They used a technique known as gravitational lensing. It's where you take a nearby galaxy and it's used as like a giant magnifying glass to bend the light from a more distant object. Ooh, we're getting very big now. So what are we at? 10 to the 10 solar masses. So we're at 10 billion. So we're nearly at the limit. Ton 618. So there he is, the big boy or big girl. So yes, we're in the billions. There's the biggest, 66 billion solar masses. That's completely unimaginable. But if you didn't know, Ton 618, the name is actually Tonansula. The ton is short, so they should probably put the actual name there. Why is it Tonansula? It's because it has nothing to do with tarantulas or Godzilla. They just saw this thing at Tonansula. I can't even pronounce it always correctly. Tonansula Observatory in Mexico. So another problem I have with this video is the way these black holes look. So it's a little bit inaccurate, and you might think, hey, this looks like the supermassive black hole out of Interstellar, right? Well, guess what? They were wrong in Interstellar as well. They actually should look like this close up. Kip Thorne actually said they simplified it a lot for the sake of keeping it from being visually confusing, as correct frequency shifting resulted in this rendering, which was asymmetric and pretty weird looking, and they thought it would be too confusing to serve the storytelling, which I agree with. But to be honest, I think this one looks even cooler. I wish they just used this one. Let me tell you this fun little thing about black holes in the universe before we finish. You might have heard that since the event horizon, or the Schwarzschild radius of the universe, is precisely equal to the radius of the universe, does that mean that we're living inside a black hole? First of all, the fact that the radius of the visible universe coincides with the Schwarzschild radius of the visible universe it's no coincidence, right? They're governed by the same equations, Einstein's field equations for gravity. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that a simple calculation yields either identical values or values that differ only by a small rational factor. However, these two cases are just fundamentally different nonetheless, because the Schwarzschild solution is a spherically symmetric, static, not changing in time vacuum solution, as we say. The Friedmann-Lemaitre-Robertson-Walker FLRW solution that characterizes our space-time, that describes a cosmos that's filled with matter, homogeneous, which means the same everywhere, isotropic, which means there's no preferred direction, but evolving with time. Also, in some hypotheses, our universe has a past singularity, the Big Bang singularity, right? And, in contrast, the interior Schwarzschild black hole solution is characterized by a future singularity. So, at best, our cosmos might be similar to a time-reversed black hole, aka a Schwarzschild white hole solution. But even that analogy is imperfect because, as I've already said, the Schwarzschild radius solution is a static vacuum solution, whereas the FLRW universe contains matter and changes with time. So hopefully that clears up that question, because I see it everywhere. Anyway, make sure you subscribe, come check out AI My Interior, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night.